shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, and I'm filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks this afternoon. And in studio this afternoon, we have from Rotary Central, Cayman Islands, we have President Corleen Goodman-Hoptroff and Director of Community Service, Patrick Schmid. And you'll remember Patrick when he used to host Talk Today as well. And then from 1 p.m., we're going to have JN Money. They're going to tell us how you can win some cash this Christmas with JN Money Services. 1:30 p.m. onwards, Nurse Brown from the Health Services Authority will be joining us to update us on the recent changes with vaccine clinics and to answer your questions on the vaccine. We're going to go back to a quick disclaimer and a commercial break, and then we'll be back with Patrick and Corleen from Rotary Central, Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller and I'm hosting all day today for you on Talk Today. It's my final day hosting Talk Today for 2021, so I'm a little sad, but I'm loving the guests that we do have this afternoon. And joining me in this first segment from Rotary Central, Cayman Islands, is President Corleen Goodman-Hoptroff and Director of Community Services, Patrick Schmid. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you
again
both
for
doing?
having us. You are doing well. How are you?
I'm excited. It's really busy during that holiday. Yes.
I love how President Corleen says we're doing well because she already knows everything about me.
I apologize. I'll let you talk then.
No, that's fine. You're right. We're well.
You're under the president's guidance, therefore. She's doing great. You must be doing great. It's that trickle-down effect.
Exactly.
Yes. So we're here to talk about a lot of the projects that Rotary Central is part of with our community.
Yep.
We're looking towards 2022, a little bit of what you've done in 2021, and to try to bring more people into the Rotary Club, that's for sure.
Awesome, yeah.
There's a lot that you guys do
Yes.
that is not even listed here for us to talk about. And
That's true.
sometimes I wonder if the community really knows the impact that Rotary Central has. So
Yeah, I know every time we come on the radio, we start to go through the list and we get so exhausted by the time we get halfway through. There's so much more that we do, not just our club, but the other Rotary clubs within Cayman Islands and the Rotaract clubs as well, Kiwanis, all the organizations do a whole lot for the community.
that's true. And we need that. So
Yep.
the more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have a big event coming up at the end of the month, right?
Well, actually, we just had our big event, which
Yeah.
was the music extravaganza. That was our pretty much the biggest fundraiser that we do for the year. And we are so excited. We had a winner for the $40,000 who was very appreciative. We took some pictures and stuff. We should be doing a press release very shortly. Again, thanks to everybody who has participated, bought a ticket, sold tickets, everything. It takes a community to make this a good event, a big event, and we're so grateful that with all the COVID restrictions and whatnot, we were able to put the show on and have some funds to do some things for the community.
I don't know why I thought it was still happening. I guess
It
I
is
just
happening.
I want the 40 grand right now.
It is happening, but next year, November.
Yeah. That's okay, because yesterday I said the wrong date. So it is Tuesday, December 14th. So my dates are mixed up. So my apologies on that. That's one of the greatest cash prizes that we have in Cayman. I think that's the biggest one that we have.
Yeah, it is. I think
Aside from the vaccine one, but that doesn't count because that just was a...
That was a one-off, right?
Yeah, it's a one-off. That's not going to happen every year.
Right.
Rotary has been doing this for at
26
least
years.
26. The big prize giveaway, 26
Yep.
years. Wow. That's a lot of money. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Big benefit to whoever wins this in the community, right?
And the community itself, because as I mentioned, people sell tickets, and when they sell tickets, they get a cut as well. The person who sold the winning ticket gets a cut. All the prizes. So we are putting money back into people's pockets as well as helping the community.
All right. So
Except, of course, Rotarians, we can't benefit from the sales at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure you sold some tickets, but you couldn't keep a little cut from that.
That's right. Yeah, it goes entirely to the club.
Okay.
In any case, as well as any the actual ticket sales that we collect, we charge no administrative fee or anything like that. It's entirely towards community service and other activities that we're involved in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Because administrative fees can somehow hike right up, and a large portion of that money will suddenly go there. So.
Well, it's set down from Rotary International. Anything that we do, that we go out to the community and ask for funds for anything, has to go back into the community for our administrative purposes or to have any internal parties or anything of that nature. It's all funded by members of the club themselves, so it's out of our own pockets.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you volunteer your time, which is one thing already.
Yep.
But then you're really volunteering, like the true, real definition of it, because you're not getting any sense of a monetary payback for.
No, there's no.
Just for the organization part of it.
That's right.
Wow, that's very impressive.
But you gain so much more because just seeing the things that you've done as a club, you get that sense of joy and fulfillment. So
absolutely, that's true. And you really shouldn't be going into something like into service, into volunteering, if you're expecting to get a cut.
That's right.
That's not really volunteering from your heart. It's not a genuine effort to help your community. So I like that Rotary does that. All funds go right back to the community. That's excellent. Right. What is your next big project that you're looking to kick off with?
So now it's Christmas, so I think we're focusing a lot on like Christmassy stuff. We had our brunch on Sunday gone. We'll probably have our Christmas meetings and that sort of stuff. The next big project, so to speak, I think or fundraiser will be the Alex Panton Foundation Gala, which is going to be held in
early May.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a date for that as well. We have the science fair that's coming up as well.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, you've been?
I haven't been, but I've seen some videos, so many pictures.
Yeah,
and
the kids are amazing. They come up with so many great projects.
They do. They really, really do. So how did you get involved with helping promote that, helping support that?
I know it's an old, when I say old, a project that's been around since before my time.
It was a Rotary initiative. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go right ahead.
To the best of my recollection, Dr. Bill Rudy was he is unfortunately passed on, but he was a long-term member of the club and very much involved in the sciences and so on, and it was his initiative which started the science fair.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you were saying that the big event coming up would be in May, which is Alex Panton Foundation. Mm-hmm. And how do you partner with the Alex Panton Foundation?
Well, for us, another project that started out of the mouths of babes, as we say. So this was a new member who was. This is something that's near and dear to her, and she decided to, raise funds for the Alex Panton Foundation. So the first year, which was 2 years ago, we did something called Step Right Up with a circus-themed that wasn't the first. Last year was a circus-themed
That's
event.
correct, yeah.
So 2 years, and I'm waiting to see what theme we come out with this year. And we generally have a big gala, dinner and performances and whatnot. And the money we raise just goes directly to Alex Banton Foundation.
Which is excellent because that money, from what I understand, part of anybody that's helping to donate to Alex Banton Foundation, they're there to give services to people who also can't afford to.
That's right.
While if you're looking for mental health help, if you're a government worker, for example, Patrick, like us, we can go to like the EAP or the Counseling Center, Department of Counseling, and it's part of our work benefits. Mm-hmm. But then there's some people in private companies and their insurance doesn't cover being able to go for any counseling or therapy. Mm-hmm. And the Alex Banton Foundation is great for that because they will be able to offer you those services if you cannot afford them. Yeah. And especially for younger people. And we know that there's so much of that.
And as you
it's
mentioned,
been a theme in this past week. So.
As you mentioned, the younger folks, we did do a fundraiser earlier in the year when I say the year, we start our year in July. So we did do a project in July, or was it August, that it's the Gumball Car Rally. You may or may not have heard
yes,
of it.
I have.
And we did raise some money, and the Alex Banton Foundation has put that directly towards a mental health awareness hotline for youth. So they can call in and, have, frank discussions with therapists and whatnot. Yeah.
Wow. So the funds that you were able to raise from the Gumball Rally, Cayman Style Gumball Rally?
Yes, Cayman Style Gumball Rally. This is not a race.
There's no other way.
So those funds went to the Alex Foundation to help them implement the mental health helpline.
Yes, correct.
Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Kudos to you too to you and the entire club and all the volunteers because I know there's a lot. So we have to go to a commercial break right now, and when we come back, we will be still with Rotary Central, Cayman Islands President Corleen Goodman Hoptroff and Director of Community Services Patrick Schmidt.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
It's that time of the year, and we are ready to help you with your household cleaning needs, and that is bedspreads, comforters, duvets, duvet covers, drapes, and also wearing apparel. All items at 10% off prepay, and turnaround time will be 2 to 3 days. Orders can be handled at all 3 stores. Elgin Avenue, 949-2452, Savannah Countryside, 946-1884, and Eastern Avenue, drive-through Rain or Shine, 949-7104. That's 949-7104. All stores close at 5:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Puritan Cleaners. You feel good when you look good.
This year, more than ever, Morant would like to simply but sincerely say thank you and best wishes for the holiday season.
Listen to the general public. Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller and I have in studio with me this afternoon from Rotary Central, Cayman Islands, President Corleen Goodman Hoptroff and Director of Community Service Patrick Schmidt. Now, right before the break, Corleen was telling us about a couple of the big events, one that had just wrapped up, which was the Music Extravaganza, the 26th year. We know somebody was lucky out there winning $40,000. Hopefully it's me next year. I just have to buy tickets.
That's right.
I have to be in it to win it. Mm-hmm. And to go back to really what Rotary does now, I understand the heart of Rotary is community service. Yes. So if you could expand on that, Patrick.
Thanks, Kathy. Certainly it is. Community service is probably certainly the largest area of expenditure that the club has, and for good reason. Obviously, giving back to the community of which you're a part is fundamentally important to the whole idea of Rotary. And if I could just sort of encapsulate that into saying that there are 5 avenues of service, which are basically community service, vocational service, club service, youth service, and international service, of course. And so each year when the new board is coming along or has been elected and is coming into taking over from the existing board, they set out a strategic plan based on where they think the greatest needs are, and allocate the budget accordingly as best as we can. Of course, inevitably you get things like COVID-19 coming along and changing all of that. And so we have to reprioritize on a regular basis, as a matter of fact. But we always aim to try to help our community as best we can, first and foremost. And then, as I mentioned, the other avenues of service, we also work with other aspects, such as we've done recently a substantial donation to the Banaka cause, as we refer to it as, the big fire that they had there in the Bay Islands, which was very sad. And so we decided we would do what we could to help out in that regard. But my area of responsibility is community service, and our particular focus, I said we did a strategic plan, but it's also to a large extent guided by the primary goals that are set out by Rotary International, which President Cording is much more adept at telling you about. But fundamentally, for us in this Rotary year, at Rotary Central, we are focusing on mental health issues, and covers the full gamut of mental health, so mental health in a very general sense. And I can tell you a little bit about the projects that we've been involved with. And the other one is environment, or the environment. So those are the 2 main ones. And then within those 2 main focuses for community services, we've done thus far in the first 6 months, as soon as just after we took office, so to speak, we had Hurricane Grace, Tropical Storm Grace, whatever you'd like to call it.
Right. I called her Hurricane Grace.
I think so too, after the damage to my place, yes. And so essentially we discovered that there was a lot of damage up at the Queen Elizabeth II Botanical Gardens, and we contacted them and made arrangements to assist them in clearing the most damaged area, and we got quite a lot cleared. We got filled 2 large bins of plant nursery, which was unfortunately destroyed in the storm. But it was a big help to them and indeed to the community. Shortly after that, we participated in World Cleanup Day by, we selected a site, which was Barker's National Park, and we picked up as much garbage as we could, separating them into plastics and non-plastics.
I want to ask, do you know how much garbage you guys picked up? And I hope it's not too much. I'll be disappointed in the community if it's a lot of garbage.
It was a lot. We had a figure of how many tons it was, but I've lost the number in my head.
But it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
It is a bit frustrating sometimes to see, especially if you've just cleaned somewhere and you come back and like, wait a minute, did we just clean this place?
Yes. Right. It's really quite ironic because wherever you go on the beach, despite all of the public education campaigns, despite the fact that we would think that we all know better, people just seem to be dumping garbage everywhere, and it's unsightly, it's unsafe, and I could go on, but I won't. So coming up, of course, we have Earth Day on April 22nd, so we'll have a cleanup in conjunction with that as well, and then in relation to our bus shelter campaign, which does not fall within my area of responsibility, but we've also been working at trying to get the existing ones, which I think we have almost 100 now, cleaned, because obviously they all require maintenance, and we've been working with organizations as we would like to make it clear that we wish to continue to work with as many different community organizations as possible.
Sorry, Director Patrick, just to cut you off a bit there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we do have the cleaning happening on an ongoing basis, and we also have this project going on where we're trying to make some green spaces on some of them. So there's like a garden club that's right. Putting some trees and plants and stuff around to make it a little
around the bus
green,
shelters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Green space.
Okay. So who maintains the cleanliness? Is this
we've
part of the
contracted
volunteers?
someone to do that. So
okay, all right.
However, that segues very well into the last point I'd make about the environment for now, which is that I'm hoping, and we've been talking with the Department of Environmental Health as well as Public Works Department about the possibility of acquiring and securing garbage receptacles, especially in the beach areas. But we have to work very closely with them because we have to ensure that they're regularly emptied, of course. So without them, we wouldn't be able to do it because it would be nonsensical. The garbage would just pile up there. So we want to get a working system going whereby people would have a place to dump their garbage, basically. And then coming out of that, just on the mental health portion focus, we have Loud Silent Voices is our signature project. It's been so since last year. You may have heard some of the announcements that were done through Radio Cayman in particular regarding Loud Silent Voices, but it is an existing home which focuses on mental health in West Bay. And we will continue to support that project for as long as we possibly can. President Corleen is always here to correct me if I'm wrong. Then we've been involved with a number of other organizations that have connection to mental health type activities to support the community, such as the Cayman Islands Crisis Center, the Bridge Foundation. We've been trying to start up a program working in conjunction with the Department for Community Rehabilitation and Her Majesty's Prison Service for the reintegration or assistance with the reintegration of persons who have left the prison into society, helping them in whatever way that we can within the context of what we're allowed to help with. So that is a very important project for us as well.
Can you give some background on the Bridge Foundation?
In terms of
This is the first time I have heard about the Bridge Foundation.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there are at least two similar
halfway houses.
Essentially halfway houses.
Hope for Today was here yesterday.
Right, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so that is a halfway home, a transitional home as well.
Right, two are very similar.
Recovering drug and alcohol addicts.
I wouldn't want to delve into the differences between them because one, I don't definitively know, and two, I wouldn't want to put words in the mouths of the persons who actually run the organizations. But I can tell you that we recognize the good work that is done, and we try our best to help where we can. So we primarily look for them to tell us what their needs are. Yeah. And then we do our best to support as much as we can.
I think that means I'll have to get in touch with the Bridge Foundation. So as a community, we do know more about what they do as well. But you do support that foundation, which is excellent. It's very hard for people coming out of prison to transition back into society just like that. It's a progress. It's a phased
That's separate from the Bridge Foundation, but just to say.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. And just to, I don't know when our next break is, but just to say that that the, very recently, in fact, just this morning, we met with Hope for Today, and we made a contribution to their very worthy projects. And are you familiar with Hope for Today?
Well, yeah, they were here yesterday.
Okay, sorry, not Hope for Today. I'm so sorry. That was a faux pas on my part. You just said it. Yes, Feed Our Future is what I wanted to say. Feed Our Future, please. Sorry about that.
Future, okay.
And primarily, we see the many good things that they do, and we wanted to be of assistance to them as well, in particular as it relates to secondary school students who may not necessarily always have the kind of support that they need. We're looking right now at assisting the Pines with lateral flow tests. So we're seeing how many we can source for them, and we hope to be able to sort that out by the end of this week. And we're working with the National Drug Council on Arrive Alive 345, their program.
So are we.
And we've done a number of other smaller but nevertheless very important things, like preparing Christmas care packages for families that are perhaps a bit more needy. Yeah. We also do Christmas gifts for kids, needy kids.
How do you determine these families and the
President
needy kids?
Corleen?
Do you work with the NAU for this?
Yeah, we work with the NAU for this. So we've got a list of needy families, what their requirements are, if they've got kids, the ages, that sort of stuff. And then what we've done is we've had members basically take these like a box into their workplace and get people to fill the box up. Sometimes it's so surprising that how quickly it gets filled.
Yes.
You should have a box here.
We should. Let's do that.
I don't
next
know
year.
what's allowed, but
yeah.
you should leave a box with Radio Cayman.
Yeah, sure.
I know our staff will definitely want to give towards that, and why not?
Yeah.
I'm going to encourage other government departments to do the same.
There's, of course, not that it's Rotary related, but there's the Christmas tree over Government Administration Building, which is also our responsibility.
Yes.
I mean, as in civil servant.
It's our initiative, government initiative, yes.
So, in a nutshell, we will continue to look at the needs of the community, especially in for this Rotary year, which ends June 30th of 2022, in the context of what the needs are for vis-a-vis the environment and mental health, and we'll continue to focus our efforts as much as we can on assisting wherever assistance is needed.
Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to learn more about what Rotary Central does in the Cayman Islands.
Increase your chances to win during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubis. Reflections offers you gas for less, and each time you fill up at Jose's Rubis, you're entered to win weekly prize giveaways, plus a grand prize of $20,000 in cash or up to $30,000 to pay next year's bills. Ensure that you are healthy and fit before you visit with family and friends. Reflections offers 2 lateral flow test kits for only $10. The best KN95 masks, $5 for 2. Stylish black surgical masks are only $5 for a pack of 10. Purchase Reflections gift certificates for your loved ones and enter to win the Rubis Pure Joy promotion at Jose's Rubis.
Savannah Pharmacy. Shop local and get a head start on your Christmas shopping. For ladies' handbags, clothes, shoes, fragrance, candles, and cosmetics with the newest Farmhouse Fresh line of skincare. For the gentlemen, clothes, shoes, fragrances, gift sets, and toys and games for the kids. Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs. And convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
Little Cayman residents are advised that there will be a DEH bulk waste one-day collection happening on Thursday, December 16th. For more information on the Little Cayman one-day bulk waste collection for December 16th, you can call DEH Cayman Brac at 948-2321.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
The technology sector is forecast to be one of the fastest growing industries in the next decade, with more jobs available than skilled people to fill them. Enterprise Cayman is helping to fill this void and grow the next generation of Caymanian innovators, giving young people access to high quality learning experiences with the opportunity to pursue careers in technology and innovation sectors. Learn to code, how product development works, enter professional competitions, access high tech resources, network with special economic zone industry professionals, and much, much more. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to find out more. Brought to you by Cayman Enterprise City.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of March, 2022. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
Listen to the general public. Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And in studio right now, we have from Rotary Central Cayman Islands, President Corleen Goodman-Hoptroff and Director of Community Services, Patrick Schmidt. Right before the break, Patrick, you were explaining a lot of the initiatives that Rotary does, but I believe we were on the Christmas care packs for families and whatnot.
Yes, that's right.
You want to pick up on that?
Yes, thanks, Kathy. I just wanted to say that it would be remiss of me to not mention the fact and stress the fact that it's very important for virtually all the projects, or many of the projects that we do, that we work with other organizations, in particular community organizations, but with respect to the children's gifts that we were doing this year, because normally we would have a children's Christmas party, but of course, for obvious reasons, we could not organize that this year, and so we had to cancel that. And instead, Wheaton's Precious Metals has stepped in and assisted in the acquisition of the gifts, and then one of our faithful directors, is not me that's in charge of that particular project, in other words, has been working together with them, Director Susie, and so
spearheading and organizing which kids and which schools and all that sort of stuff.
Precisely.
So, there's a bit of administrative work with regards to that, but special thank you to the Wheaton Precious Metals.
Hopefully they're dropping gold bars into those gift packs as well. That would be nice.
And we also have an ongoing blood bank project. So we try to support the blood bank, and a number of our donors a number of our members are donors already. But certainly we like to stress the fact that every time that we have an opportunity to do so, that supporting the blood bank is so fundamentally important to the whole community that we would encourage Rotarians and non-Rotarians alike to give if you can. Mm-hmm. So with that said, I think it's important that, Kathy, that I say that in this upcoming year and in Rotary years in the future, I'm sure that we would like to be able to work with even more organizations that work to better our community, because that, after all, is our ultimate goal. And also, we need to continue to have membership growth, because the more members we have, the more people, the more hands there are to assist, and so by growing our membership, by getting people interested in becoming a part of the Rotary organization, we are able to do that much more to contribute to the community.
I have questions. Many hands make light work. Guess we're on the same page here. My question with this is, I believe a long time ago, and I can name the person who invited me to, it was a Rotary Sunrise meeting. And I guess the person didn't know me that well, because me having to be somewhere very early before work is not going to happen ever. So I was like, this isn't for me. But besides that, I think I remember it. I was told that in order to be a part of Rotary, it was a I don't remember if it was a minimum of 1 day a week that you have to dedicate to the organization. Time.
Yes.
Time is of essence
I can
here.
speak to that. So we do put our potential members through a process. They need to be coming to the meetings for a specific number of time, making sure that they don't just come to the meetings but also participate in projects. And then once they've gone through that process and they think, yes, I want to be a member, we have something called a fireside chat. In this fireside chat, we do outline to them, these are your commitments. So it's not just a financial commitment, but a time commitment. You're expected to come to our meetings, because coming to the meetings is where you meet and greet and learn about each other. It's not just a random person over there. It's becomes your friend and your family. So Patrick is my brother from another mother.
Mine too.
You build relationships, because one of the things that Rotary was founded on was fellowship, not just giving back, but coming to the meetings, you build the relationships with people. So we do encourage. We meet every Tuesday evenings. We are the evening. The nightclub, as we say, which might be more your speed.
Yes, very much.
And we encourage people to, you can come to at least 50% of the meetings in your own club. We do have things called makeups, where if you go to a project on the Saturday and you can't make the meeting on the Tuesday, that's considered a makeup. You're out selling music extravaganza tickets, that's a makeup. You have a meeting with for a committee for, let's say you're planning something. Us being on the radio here is basically a makeup.
Okay.
So there are other not like we need that.
Not the president missing our meeting. I'm teasing you.
I'm probably at like 300%. So there are other opportunities to make that attendance a requirement, and of course, I thought I saw waving there. And there is a financial commitment as well. There are dues that we need to pay to Rotary International, and of course, you come to the meetings, you eat, drink, have fun.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's not free.
And as I said, anything that we do for within the club, that's social, we pay for ourselves. We do not take that money from community money. So that's part of your commitment.
If I could just add, President Corleen and Kathy, that no one in the community should feel discouraged from considering Rotary.
That's right.
You should at least come along for a meeting and see how you feel, see how you interact with the persons that are already members of the club, and see some of what the club is actually doing, or the clubs, depending on which one you go to. And same applies to all service clubs within our community. But in essence, Rotary International has had specifically a program whereby they want diversity to be one of the principal focuses in our membership or adoption of members, so to speak. So there are no specific requirements in relation to career fields, or the amount of money one makes or does not make, or has or does not have, whatever. Each person has an important role to play, irrespective of what your background is. And so equality, diversity, these are all important things for Rotary, and so we welcome everybody. As long as you meet minimum standards of regular, behavior, then you're absolutely welcome.
And I'll plug as well. You mentioned that the other club that invited you was the Sunrise. So Sunrise, they meet at 7:00 at Georgetown Yacht Club on Wednesday mornings. We meet Tuesday evenings at Saltwater Grill for 7:30, and the Grand Cayman Club, which is the mother of all clubs in Cayman, they meet on Thursdays at lunchtime at I think it's at Grand Old House or the Wharf. I'm
not sure to be honest.
Once you go on their website, you'll be able to determine where they meet.
Okay. Now, Patrick, you had also mentioned community partnerships, that you're always looking for more of those.
Thanks for reminding me.
No problem. How does that happen? Do people approach you and say, we want to work with Rotary?
Both ways. So sometimes you might have, and bearing in mind I've only been in this position for 6 months, but in my experience, you may have an organization which is looking at doing something quite large, and and we're naturally limited by by our respective budgets and our fundraising efforts and so on. And so sometimes they will approach us. Sometimes we'll approach them and say, hey, we noticed that you are doing X or Y. We are wanting to do something similar, or we have a similar program. Is it possible that we could partner on this and thereby
increasing your manpower
yes,
in that
exactly.
sense.
You know, spreading the opportunity to help the community that much more, because it tends to grow exponentially rather than 1 + 1 = 2 type thing. So so it's great when we can partner with existing organizations such as Feed Our Future and
got the name right this time.
Yes.
Didn't want another faux pas like that again. But yeah, so we're always looking for people to partner with.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to us, you can feel free to do so. We have our website, rotarycentral.ky. There's contact us in there. It will go to the secretary, and you can, tell us what your need is.
Yeah.
Now, is there any possibility that you'd want to help out on a particular day? Like I know the Rotary Club. I want to say Rotary International does this. But it's that Take a Kid Fishing Day, for example.
Yeah, that's us. That's our club.
All right, so Rotary Central, you guys do this. Now, for something like that, if somebody's interested in participating in that event, but they're not a member, is it possible?
Yeah, I think it will be fine. We'll just have to they could just let the secretary know they're interested, and I know with COVID and the situation as it is now, we're always mindful of the things that we're doing and who's involved and being careful and that sort of stuff.
All right, any last words?
Certainly, like with for example, Junior Achievement was an example of where we had volunteers from outside the club. So yes, by all means, but as President Corleen has already said, that is now, of course, all encapsulated within the restrictions that we have on us.
Another big one that we do every year, except for last year and this year, was the health screening, where we, sometimes we'd find pretty much dead men walking. Their blood pressure is so high, we need to rush them straight to the hospital, and we haven't been able to do that for the last 2 years because of the COVID restrictions.
Right. Well, hopefully that program will get back on board soon. Yeah. And we got to wrap up. We got to go to the news headlines.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the listening audience as well. I hope you all gained something from our presence.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you again for having us.
And the website was rotarycentral.ky.
Correct.
If anybody's interested in becoming a member, volunteering, and they do so many great things in the community. And right now, we're going to take it to the 1 p.m. news headlines.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government officials have announced updates to regulations impacting travel over the weekend. These changes to regulations will reduce the COVID-19 testing window for all passengers traveling into the Cayman Islands, as well as unvaccinated persons traveling to the sister islands from Grand Cayman. The changes, which take effect on Friday, December 17th, are measures being implemented to increase the protection of the community and health system against the latest COVID-19 variant of concern, Omicron. In international news, more than 50 people have been killed after a fuel tanker exploded in northern Haiti, officials say. Reports say the vehicle was involved in an accident and the victims had been trying to gather leaking fuel when it ignited. Local hospitals have been overwhelmed by those injured in the blast. Haiti's prime minister said the entire Caribbean nation was grieving after the accident as he declared 3 days of mourning. Workers, volunteers, and members of the National Guard fanned out in areas of Kentucky, slammed by a series of tornadoes to begin the long process of recovery, including replacing thousands of damaged utility poles, delivering bottles of drinking water, and continuing to search for the dead. The tornado outbreak Friday that killed at least 88 people in 5 states, 74 of them in Kentucky, cut a path of devastation that stretched from Arkansas, where a nursing home was destroyed, to Illinois, where an Amazon distribution center was heavily damaged. And the government has said that all 11 countries will be removed from the UK's travel red list from 4 a.m. on Wednesday. The red list was reintroduced in late November as a precaution after the emergence of the Omicron variant. But the health secretary said it had spread so widely, the rules no longer had much purpose. Those are your latest headlines. I'm Shana Gallego.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
At Subway, we caramel a lot about our customers, so we decided to give you 2 treats in one with the new Caramel Apple Cookie. Enjoy cinnamon apples, caramel bits, and salted caramel crunch baked in, and topped with a drizzle of caramel-flavored icing. Gooey, crunchy, and yummy. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious Caramel Apple Cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert, available for a limited time at all Subway locations. Subway, eat fresh.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And in our first segment of the show, we had Rotary Central of the Cayman Islands. They were telling us about the so many initiatives, projects that they have going on, what we're looking forward to in 2022 with them. And a reminder, if you're interested in joining, check out their website, rotarycentral.ky. And in this segment of the show, I'm pleased to welcome Paul and Donna from JN Money Service. And we got well, maybe not. Yep. All right. We're going to have that section in a second with Glenn Roy from JN Money Service, and then I'll be introducing our next guests. I'm gonna ask you two to introduce yourselves, please, and then we'll go from there. Thank you. Go ahead and introduce.
Good afternoon, Kathy. My name is Paul Innes. I'm the head of compliance at the Cayman Islands General Registry, and we represent the Registrar of MPOs.
Okay. And Donna?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donna K. Stutter. I'm a senior compliance officer at the General Registry, also known as the Registrar of Nonprofit Organizations.
All right, so this is a big surprise to me because nobody told me that I was going to have these surprise guests in studio this afternoon. So, welcome to Talk Today. Hence my mix-up a little earlier there, okay? But since this is a surprise to me, you guys need to tell me what we're talking about today.
Well, interesting enough, we know that you just spoke to Rotaract Cayman.
Come a little closer, Mike, yeah.
We know that your previous guest was Rotaract Cayman,
yes,
which is a registered MPO in the Cayman Islands.
Rotary Central.
Rotary Central, which is one of the registered MPOs in the Cayman Islands, and one of the MPOs that we brag about in terms of one of those MPOs who do tremendous work for the people of the island.
They do.
And our message here today really is to first, there's several messages that we have today. First, we wish to congratulate the MPO sector for the tremendous work that they've been doing, especially since January of last year when post that we went into lockdown. Mm-hmm. And several MPOs stepped up to the plate and provided a whole heap of humanitarian aid to the sector. And they still continue to do it today.
Right.
We continue to see several registered MPOs continue to put in applications with purpose and activities that are in keeping with humanitarian aid, providing other community services. So certainly that particular sector, the MPO sector in the Cayman Islands, continue to perform at an extremely high level. So we're really here today to speak about that. And then the other message that we certainly want to provide the community is that this is the time of the year of giving. We want to certainly encourage people to give to registered MPOs. But we also have some best practices that we certainly want the community to employ in giving.
Ah, excellent. Let's hear about those best practices. We're looking at you, Donna. Well, that was Paul was looking at you, so I assume that you knew what those best practices are.
Thanks. So,
you're welcome.
Firstly, when you're giving to a nonprofit organization in the Cayman Islands, you want to ensure that it's a registered nonprofit organization. And to verify this, you can go onto the General Registry's website under the Register Nonprofit Organizations, and you can see a list of all registered nonprofit organizations in the Cayman Islands. When you're on and about doing your holiday shopping, going to the supermarket, running your errands, there'll probably be people with little buckets and so on and so forth. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You can simply ask, are you registered with the government? What is the money going to be used for? Is it going to benefit the people of these islands? Another thing that we want to implore is to encourage persons to be aware of scams. At this time of the year, there's an increase in cybercrime, fraud, and so on and so forth. So we just want to encourage the community to be on guard.
If there is a group, a nonprofit group, or some sort of group that's trying to raise funds, let's say at a supermarket, often we'll see them in front of a supermarket or a home center, right? And, you know, the curiosity on the part of us who's trying to donate to these nonprofits, as you said, Donna, you know, you want to ask them, are you registered with government as a nonprofit? Now, I know you say we should be asking that, but I might feel a little, is this abrasive? Am I being abrasive by asking this question? What about them being able to display something while they are there that would make it very obvious that, yes, we are part of a registered nonprofit?
Well, on our website, we have all registered NPOs are displayed on the General Registry's website. So everybody has a smartphone these days. So all the donor needs to ask the person standing in front of them, can you go to General Registry's website and show me that your NPO, your name and your number? But in terms of it being abrasive, I certainly don't think it is, because it's your money. And if it is your money, you certainly have the right to ask the person who you're giving it to all the relevant questions to reassure yourself that this is a reputable person, this is a reputable entity that we're giving. Because, mind you, we've seen situations in the past where persons have represented not being a registered NPO, or represented registered NPOs, and they weren't registered, and they went away with the funds.
Or representing a team raising money, and they were not whatsoever part of that team.
Exactly.
Yes, which I've always been not lately because of, I can't use my hand anymore, but I've always been a part of a team. I've always played sports.
Right.
And if we wanted to go on trips to compete against some teams in the U.S., for example, we'd have to do fundraising.
Of course.
So we know that, yes, we're in we're in an association. It could be, let's say, basketball, it could be football, it could be flag football. Yes. Particularly with me at that time, it was flag football and our team was going away.
Right.
And at that time, there was no registering to be a nonprofit organization, so that came in more recent years, right, in the past few years. So when we're looking at sports teams that are raising money to go away, is can you consider a sports team as a nonprofit, or should the association be registered? Period.
Well, it's both, because under the NPO law, both the sports team and the association fit the definition.
Okay.
As long as they're going to solicit funds from the public or a section of the public for a sporting cause, for a community cause, then according to Section 2 of the NPO Act, they do meet the definition and they should register.
Oh.
We have all of the sports. We have, I want to say all, but I stand corrected because we have over 540 registered NPOs on the register. We have a significant amount of sporting organizations, and we have all of the major associations, including CRIFTA, the Cayman Islands Athletic Association. All of these are registered NPOs, so both the associations and the organizations are required to register.
Okay, all right. And the registration process, is it pretty easy to do?
Yes, it's fairly straightforward. It can be done online. There are some basic information that's required, details on the person that's going to be involved, who's going to actually be managing the nonprofit organization. We would need to see a governing document, which is fairly comprehensive and includes, the purpose of the NPO, how you intend to raise funds, what's the money going to be used for, where's the money going to be spent, internal controls in terms of record keeping, financial management, risk management, and so on and so forth. We also collect information about your banking arrangement, for example, your projected income and expenses, and so on and so forth. All of this information is on the General Registry's website under the Register of Nonprofit Organizations.
Okay, now you said bank account information.
Yes, ma'am. In that, we need the name of your bank, not necessarily the banking details.
Well, I guess the question I want to ask is, should that NPO then set up a separate bank account? Or is it, because in the past, it would be somewhat customary that, let's say, it would go under Kathy Miller's account. All funds should go there.
That is imperative. The nonprofit organization is a separate entity. It is not a business, but it should be run and operated as a normal, ordinary business. So all of the usual internal controls, risk management considerations need to be considered. And it's certainly best practice for a nonprofit organization to have its own banking account, because you're going to have your income, you're going to have your expenses. We need to be able to follow the crumbs should a need arise. And if that is commingled with personal income, you can see the complexities that can arise.
Okay, all right.
So it's not really a preference. It's an obligation, because under the NPO Act, you have to have a bank account in order to meet the criteria for registration.
Okay.
Because one of the bigger risks that we pay lots of attention to is the risk of financial management or the misappropriation of assets. Because again, where you have misappropriation of assets, you have people giving their hard-earned money, somebody going away with it. But then in terms of our international obligations as a financial services sector, we are mandated by best practice from the Financial Action Task Force to understand all of the NPOs who operate on the island, and then understand through financial risk, the risk of terrorist financing that they pose. So certainly financial management, financial accounts, bank accounts, record keeping, all of your record keeping, reconciliations, that whole process, it is extremely important to us. That's why the NPOs have to file an annual return every year.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
I found out the hard way that I had to also file annual return. But I did have great help from certain people in General Registry, which I still owe you lunch, and if you're listening, you know who you are. And so there is good guidance for sure.
Good.
But it's there's still some little areas I think that we can make a little bit more clear to the public. So I know that, Donna, when you did mention we can go online and it's a simple process. I definitely encourage people to do go online and figure it out, but also try to go to somebody if you are not getting your questions answered, because you don't want to submit all these forms and it be wrong and it take even longer for you to get through with registering your NPO. We got to go to a quick commercial break right now, and when we return, we'll be back with Paul and Donna from General Registry.
Aston Shedden Rutty, MBE 1990 to 1977. Aston Rutty was the first child born to Henry Watson Rutty, ISO JP, and Julia Ann Rutty Nilazari at Stake Bay, Cayman Brac. He attended school at Stake Bay and as a young teenager was sent to Jamaica to attend technical training school. On his return, he worked for his father, who was collector of customs for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. He eventually became the Sister Islands' first district commissioner. Mr. Rutty was married to Ruth Merrin in 1931, and the couple had 4 children. Mr. Rutty is best remembered for his dedication and diligent work to rebuild the Sister Islands in the aftermath of the 1932 hurricane. He was involved in the construction of roads, the airport, government buildings, and much of the infrastructure of the Sister Islands. He served as an immigration and customs officer, as a judge, and after retiring from government in 1960 as a law agent. The Civic Center on the Bluff was named in his honor. Aston Shedden Rutty.
Cash is a must this Christmas! JN Money Cash Month Christmas. Send or receive funds with the JN Money this holiday season, doing big! JN Money Cash Month Christmas. Ha, 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 ha.
Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
We may be in Christmas shopping mode, but 'tis the flu season too. Savannah Pharmacy has immune system boosters for the entire family with a range of vitamins and supplements. Their knowledgeable and courteous pharmacists are always available to offer the best advice and products. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
Merry Christmas from A.L. Thompson's. Go electric this year with electronic gifts that are fun for the whole family. Add accessories to a massive 4K HD TV like a Fire Stick, a soundbar, and wireless headphones. Up your game with Xbox console bundles. Think security with a Ring video doorbell and a time-lapse video camera. Then take the fun outside with drones and speakers. It's all fun, and nobody does Christmas like A.L. Thompson's.
You can now register online to receive a securely verified digital copy of your COVID-19 vaccination status with QR code through the MyHSA patient portal. Sign up is available online and at all HSA locations. All you need is your photo ID showing date of birth and an email address. Visit hsa.ky and click the MyHSA patient portal icon to get started.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and right now we have Paul and Donna from General Registry. They're letting us know about registering as a NPO, nonprofit organization, and if you, as a resident in Cayman or looking to give money to any NPOs this holiday season, which is a season of giving, as I think, Paul, you mentioned that, is it a season of giving?
It is a season of giving, yes.
That we should try some best practices before we just start giving our money away, right? And Donna had mentioned some of those best practices. Ask them if they're registered with General Registry, if that NPO is a registered NPO, and you can always go to the General Registry website to see.
Yes.
Now, I know we touched a little bit, Donna, you very briefly mentioned how people are being somewhat scammed for their hard-earned money. And we're seeing a lot of practices online. Even through government, we might get some emails that we have to report as phishing. We know that. I've heard from so many people who get these emails, hey, you want money, or we need money for this, or whatever it might be. So what is your advice in recognizing what seems to be a shady organization reaching out to somebody and asking for their support?
Well, I'm sure Paul will add some comments, but I think knowledge is power. So basically, just having an awareness that there are scammers out there, people do engage in fraudulent activity, especially at this time of the year, puts you in a better position to prepare for it. And you're more able to recognize red flags. I think it's also important to highlight that luckily, in the domestic nonprofit organization sector, we have not had a significant amount of that activity. It is typically from the international arena, and we have a lot of nonprofit organizations that do a lot of humanitarian aid globally, and so they have to be ultra aware in that sense. So I think, and in addition to that, usually common sense is, I think, the best approach. Usually if it's too good to be true, stay away from it, and it's always best to ask questions. I am a big sort of proponent for no question is stupid. Ask questions. Not only that, especially if you're being asked for a significant amount of money, you need to verify. So whether that means if they want money for some project, okay, you're asking me for $1,000. That's a lot of money to some people. are you in good standing with the registrar? Can I see a recently issued certificate of good standing? And you can take that, go online, and verify the code that's on that certificate. So some of those things, we are always here to help. We try our best to respond to every email and every phone call as soon as we can. So if you have any questions, if you suspect anything, reach out to us. Our email address is grcompliance@gov.ky, and you can contact us at the General Registry by phone as well. I'll hand over to Paul.
I think when it comes to...
I have a caller. I forgot.
Okay.
Can you take the caller?
Sure.
Thank you. My apologies, caller. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Hi, good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
To you and your panel. I just wanted to quickly tell of an experience that I had. It's not a big thing, but it is nonetheless something that disturbed me. Like probably many refrigerators in the Cayman Islands, they are full of raffle tickets that we purchase because we support an idea or something that somebody said, not usually for a huge amount, but $10, $25, $5. So there was this one ticket I found, and the drawing had been done. It was after the time that the draw was done, and I said, you know what, I never did read who won the prize. I'd never heard on any program or anything like that. Let me find out who was the winner, or if there was a winner's list or anything like that. So the first thing I went to on the ticket that says, for more information, call, and then 2 phone numbers. So I called them first. The first one, I got no answer. The phone rang out. The second number, I did get a person to answer. And I asked that same question, well, was there a winner's list published, or who won the grand prize? And the person said, well, she couldn't tell me, but she would take my number and call me back. Well, the call back never came. I tried calling again sometime later. There was no response on the phone. Then I said, okay. The next step was I went to the listed beneficiaries of the event, and it was two organizations, local organizations were the beneficiaries. I called the first one, and I was passed from one person to the next, and finally the person that was supposed to actually be directly recipient of the benefits for the part that this person was managing or organizing. She couldn't give me any answer if they had received anything from this particular effort to raise funds. She couldn't answer that. So then I called the second organization, and unfortunately I did not get anybody that had any idea about that either. So the event was drawn on September 18th of this year, the draw, and up to this point, and I've given up now, I have not found out if it was a genuine effort or if it was a scam, so I really don't know, but I've just given up.
Have you been able to see if whoever that organization was that was selling those tickets, if they're registered as a nonprofit?
To be honest with you, I wasn't aware that I had that ability to look it up.
I'm curious. If you can, please do check it out and let us know.
Okay. I will do that now that I've heard you talking about it.
Yeah, I'd like to, and I completely understand your concern as well, because that used to be more of a common situation that could happen, that did happen.
The thing that bothered me most about it, and I'm a member of a service club as well, so this raffle was the tickets were sold for what was called a charity concert, and I was also trying to get somebody from Lions Center to see if the event was actually held, but I had no luck with that either. So there were some some organizations that I know are good organizations, and I probably did buy the ticket because of who the beneficiaries were supposed to be. I would support both of those organizations. But I'm wondering if anybody is so brazen to actually print tickets and list beneficiaries that they would know they would garner a lot of support in the community, but in essence, hoping that nobody would check if any donation was made to those organizations. So I'm curious, and I will certainly follow up now and check if the which I don't know the organization's name that held the raffle is not really listed on the ticket. It just has a name of the event that was going to be held. So I will check it out, though. So right. I just wanted to highlight my experience with trying to follow up something.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. Now to Donna and Paul. Yeah. For examples like this, how do we mitigate it?
Again, I think there are some best practices that we certainly would want to encourage the public to undertake. Now, the issue of raffle tickets is not as simple as that, because raffle tickets can be used by educational organizations. Sometimes raffle tickets are used by, for many different means outside of registered NPOs. But usually when I see them, if you're going to look at a raffle ticket and there's some genuine raffle about it, looking at the ticket will give you an indication of, one, who is putting it on. There should be some contact information. And again, I'm imploring people to ask questions, because we are such a trusting society. We just see people standing up outside of a supermarket selling a raffle ticket. They're purporting to be giving it to Paul and his charity. We know right. Paul and his charity. Okay, you know what, let me just buy this ticket and go. No, you need to ask questions, because it's your hard-earned money. And look at the ticket, look at the ticket to see, what information is on it. And similar to what this gentleman have done, follow up, ask questions.
Right.
Yeah, certainly. But as a best practice, we are certainly encouraging the public to ask questions. If you are representing an NPO, well, give me some information. Give me someone in the NPO that I can call.
Right.
Just ask those basic questions.
And people are brazen to answer what the caller said. People absolutely are brazen to do that. Certainly. And we have tightened the rules on what you can do as a nonprofit here, and you definitely have to register now if you are trying to operate as one. So it's we as the people that are trying to donate, we have a responsibility as well to make sure that's a legit one.
Yes.
And to know that is going towards helping the community. That's what you're trying to do.
Of course. Is
there any last comments or thoughts you'd like to leave with our listeners?
Certainly, registered NPOs online. Please ensure that if you've been solicited online, slow it down. Ensure you're dealing with somebody who's reputable. Annual returns need to be filed. Notification of changes. These are all statutory obligations that need to be filed by the NPOs to the registrar. If you need help, we're here. Contact us. You can send an email to GR Compliance, or you can call General Registries. If that doesn't work, you can call 244-3135.
Or you can call me and I can tell you who my great contact there as well. Not that I'm saying Paul isn't, but now I also have Paul's info, yes. And I'm going to get Donna's, so I have a couple people I can help you out with in General Registry. That was it. We're good.
Yeah, thanks. I think I had similar comments to Paul's. I just want to thank the caller that told us about his experience earlier. This is a crucial part of it. If the public communicates with us, it's a partnership. We're able to identify trends. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the same bad actors involved, and we can spread the news to the community at large. So I just want to thank the caller, and if he can kindly send us an email with any information he's willing to disclose, just for our records and maybe follow up an investigation. To echo Paul's comments, it's the end of the year. A lot of our NPOs have a financial year end of 31st of December, which means, according to the NPO Act, you should be filing your annual return by June of next year. And if you filed any changes over this year, please file those changes as soon as you're able. And lastly, on behalf of the Registrar of Nonprofit Organizations, happy holidays, and we wish you a safe end of year.
All right.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, and happy holidays. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
As a surprise to
Thanks
me, but
for
a great
having us.
surprise.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're going to go to a commercial break, and after the commercial break, now we're going to find out how we can win some money with Jan Money Services.
Kirk Freeport's $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back. Once again, simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store, and you could win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and many other great prizes throughout December. All purchases of $100 before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. And don't forget the annual Kirk Freeport Rolex watch prize draw for all entries, held on January 4th. Full details on KirkFreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
The community is reminded to ensure the proper disposal of used LFT kits. Place the used LFT and all items into the marked bag with the biohazard yellow triangle symbol provided with the kit, and then discard in the garbage bin. For more information on waste disposal tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky or their Facebook page, or call 949-6696.
Increase your chances to win during the Rubus Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubus. Reflections offers you gas for less, and each time you fill up at Jose's Rubus, you're entered to win weekly prize giveaways, plus a grand prize of $20,000 in cash or up to $30,000 to pay next year's bills. Ensure that you are healthy and fit before you visit with family and friends. Reflections offers 2 lateral flow test kits for only $10. The best KN95 masks, $5 for 2. Stylish black surgical masks are only $5 for a pack of 10. Purchase Reflections gift certificates for your loved ones and enter to win the Rubus Pure Joy promotion at Jose's Rubus.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We've had an exciting and surprising afternoon so far. You'd have to say so. Susan's nodding in that studio, being like, yes, we have. But we're doing well. And right now on the phone, to bring us some even more excitement, I do have Country Manager for Jan Money Services, Glenroy Henry, on the phone with me this afternoon. Good afternoon, Glenroy.
Afternoon, Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you? I've kept you waiting.
I'm fine.
You didn't mind waiting a little bit? Thank you.
No, I actually enjoyed your program, so I increased my knowledge base during the wait.
Okay, well, excellent. Now I know. All right, so you've got a big competition happening right now with Jan Money, right?
Well, yes. Christmas is a time for giving and sharing.
Yes.
And as is customary, we are giving back to our customers. So 2 lucky customers who does transaction between November 22nd and January 15th will get the opportunity of winning $2,000 each. It doesn't end there. Their recipients, person sending to Jamaica, they will also stand the opportunity of winning $500,000 each as well. So it's a double bubble.
Okay, so the main way that you can enter to win is to send money.
Yeah, the more you send, the more chances you have. And person sending to a Jan Money card gets a double entry.
How do you get a Jan Money card?
Well, the Jan Money card is on the Jamaica side, and it's pretty convenient where senders can send directly to the card, and the recipient can just access it via the card. It avoids the long wait and the lines, and in this COVID environment, it is a much safer option.
That's very true. Excellent. Are we going to get that kind of card service here in Cayman?
Well, we actively try to enhance the services that we offer. So I'm positive that we will come up with something for the Cayman side.
Excellent. So we'll just put a little bit of pressure on J Money in Jamaica to get that happening for Cayman, right?
Yeah, we'll do. We're always looking for ways to serve our customers better.
Excellent. And you do, very much so. So we know that in order to enter this competition, you have to be sending money. Is there any other way that you can be entered to win?
No, it's just for senders. You have to send.
And is there a minimum amount to be sent?
No, if you send $1, you are entered.
All right. My mom can get forward to look into a lot of dollars coming from me then.
I mean, the more you send, the more entry you get.
And does Jan Money, do you send money anywhere in the world?
Well, through our MoneyGram brand, we have a worldwide coverage. Okay. And through our Jane Money brand, we have the Caribbean, North America, UK, Ghana.
Wow. Okay. Excellent.
Through our brand, we have quite a large coverage as well.
All right. Now, does the promotion work the same in Jamaica?
Well, in Jamaica, because Jamaica is a largely recipient location, now you'll find that the receivers will stand the opportunity to win 500,000 Jamaican dollars, as opposed to on the Cayman side, the senders will stand the opportunity of winning $2,000 each.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much 500,000 Jamaican works out to, so you got to do that math there for me.
Well, on the Jamaican side, it's a pretty sum. It's a pretty tidy sum.
Is it as good as our $2,000 sum though? I don't know.
It is as good as our $2,000. It's
wow.
Actually more than our $2,000.
Okay, excellent. Oh, well, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you also for people that are sending money, whoever's receiving on the side in Jamaica can win up to 500,000.
Yes,
Jamaican dollars.
Can you imagine you send to Jamaica and you win $2,000 and your recipient also wins $500,000?
That would be an amazing coincidence. I would love to see that.
Exactly, and I mean you might not even need to send for another couple of months.
But what's really cool about that promotion is it's not just about the sender sending the money. It's who's receiving the money is eligible to win.
Yes,
and so if you have a family in Jamaica, and we know that we have so many families here who have family, friends, loved ones back in Jamaica, that it can be a great surprise to send a little bit of money over here, over there, spread the money around if you can. And you never know because each of those recipients could also win. So I like how this promotion works because it's not just one person winning on one end, it's on both ends.
On all sides. And just to add from the Cayman side, I mean, we have transactions going to Philippines, Honduras. So those jurisdictions, those markets are also involved. They stand a chance to win the $2,000 as well.
Okay. Now, what else can customers expect from JN Money this Christmas?
Well, you can look forward. We'll have our Customer Appreciation Day on Friday, December 17th.
Are you inviting me, Glenroy? It's been a long time.
Of course, you have an open invitation. You know you can just walk in anytime.
Okay, all right. Well, you don't answer my emails, so I got to put you on the spot right now with that.
Maybe I just under a little pressure, but I get around to them.
I'm teasing you with that. I'm usually in contact with Jamaica, so it's all right.
Yeah.
So you're having a customer appreciation event on Friday?
On Friday. I mean, the format is a little different based on the COVID reality and attempting to keep each customer safe, but we will be giving back.
Excellent. And just a reminder, so this promotion, it's going on right now. And when does it end?
It ends on January 15th, sorry.
Oh, so a little bit past Christmas, which is good too, because we know that the wallet is hurting after Christmas. So excellent. Yeah. And are the prizes weekly? Is it daily?
Well, we have weekly prizes.
Okay.
We have weekly prizes and surprises in branch. So just come in, send a transaction, and you might stand a chance to win one of the weekly prizes.
Excellent.
I think it goes up to $100.
Is there any other thoughts or comments that you want to leave for our listeners?
Well, just to say to our loyal customers that it has been a pleasure serving you throughout the years, and we look forward to serving you better in 2022. And we are also looking forward to ways which we can serve you better, with new products, and we are actively doing our research, and whatever comments that customers have for us, we welcome it.
You're so humble, Glenroy, because I would say, man, even if you're sending money with somebody else, you definitely have to send it with us during the holiday season, because we are giving back to those who are sending and receiving. That's what I would say.
Well,
but you have the diplomatic way of doing it.
That's our mantra, to give back to our customers and the community at large.
Yes, excellent. Thanks you for joining us on the call today. And I know we were supposed to have you a little earlier, so my apologies that we didn't get you on for one. But I appreciate you connecting with us and linking with us to let our people know how they can win at least $2,000 with JN Money Services. Well, right. At least. That's the big prize.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Glenroy.
Thanks.
All right, remember, you can go from now up until January 15th. If you send money with JN Money Services, you can win money. And if you're a recipient of any money coming to you from JN Money Services, then you also are eligible to win. And we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back from that commercial break, I am joined by Nurse Brown from the Health Services Authority.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza, open Monday to Friday 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Savannah Pharmacy. Shop local and get a head start on your Christmas shopping. For ladies' handbags, clothes, shoes, fragrance, candles, and cosmetics with the newest Farmhouse Fresh line of skincare. For the gentlemen, clothes, shoes, fragrances, gift sets, and toys and games for the kids. Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs. And convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
The technology sector is forecast to be one of the fastest growing industries in the next decade, with more jobs available than skilled people to fill them. Enterprise Cayman is helping to fill this void and grow the next generation of Caymanian innovators, giving young people access to high-quality learning experiences with the opportunity to pursue careers in technology and innovation sectors. Learn to code, how product development works, enter professional competitions, access high-tech resources, network with special economic zone industry professionals, and much, much more. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to find out more. Brought to you by Cayman Enterprise City.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken share.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken share.
I am not a chicken
Whoa, I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
The Ministry of Education invites eligible Caymanians to apply for overseas government scholarships for the 2022-2023 academic year. To apply for an overseas government scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship programs, please visit the recently upgraded scholarship application portal at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Monday, 31st of January, 2022.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And in the last segment of Talk Today, which is also my last segment for 2021, I am welcoming Nurse Brown to our studios this afternoon. Good afternoon, Nurse Brown.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me again.
It's good to have you. It's our first time
Yeah, it
talking.
is.
And so I recognize your Caymanian accent there. So
Absolutely.
I feel like people are really going to resonate with you when they know you.
We'll see. Yeah, they do know me.
Yes, absolutely. So you've been a nurse with HSA for how long?
40 years.
40 years. Okay. My mom has been a long-time nurse as well. So,
Okay.
and is still in nurse care, and she manages a nursing home back in Vancouver, Canada. So, and she's in her 70s doing
Yeah,
this still.
it never
so-
stops.
No, it doesn't. But the apple definitely fell far from the tree because I did not go into that profession. But I think that's generally that's how it can go, right?
Oh, absolutely. We just give our children the freedom to be the best that they can be.
Hopefully. Hopefully, yes, that's good parenting. So now I understand that Health Services Authority has some major announcements to make, at least with there's been recent changes to immediate effect with the vaccine clinics, correct? Can
Yes.
you update our listeners on that, please?
So we've all been missing the airport, right? Kamana Bay has been very, very supportive and very welcoming to the vaccine program, but there have been some limitations, and we've recently found a large venue. So we're moving to the 131 Centre on McClendon Drive, which is behind Price Right, where the old, and this dates me, right? Where the old Woods Furniture store used to be.
That does not date you, because I was going to say, is it the old Woods Furniture? Because 131 McLennan, nobody's going to be looking for numbers, right?
When I say the Woods Furniture store, a lot of people look at me like, oh.
Really?
Yeah,
They have to
because
be new.
they've been closed. They've been closed for a few years. But anyway, so we're going to be moving into, we actually started there at midday.
Okay.
So I haven't had any feedback on how well it went today, but we're going to be doing both our vaccine and our LFT. Some of our testing will be at the 131 Centre as well. The testing, we're trying as hard as we can to keep the two groups separate because, of course, everybody is potentially positive. But when we're bringing in people to be tested, we don't really want to be mixing them with the vaccination people. So the testing is done in the morning, and the vaccines will be done in the afternoon. There's just probably about an hour overlap.
Okay.
And we really, really want to stress the importance of the vaccination and the boosters.
Wait, before you go there, why was the change to 131 McClendon Drive? Why was that necessary?
Space.
Okay.
Space largely. I think we were a bit spoiled by the airport. The airport was an amazing venue for vaccination, and we'll never be able to say thanks enough for that. That gave us the opportunity to get to the 81% that we're at. More than 81% now. I don't remember exactly. I didn't check that before I left. But we've now that we're giving the boosters, we're finding the demand has increased again.
Okay.
And where the smaller locations could handle the 100, when you're getting up to 500 and 600 a day, we need more space. And because we're pushing for the booster now with the
Omicron variant, yes,
yeah,
it's had all sorts
emergence
of names.
of Omicron.
Yes,
we really have to encourage our population to come out and get the boosters. But there's also still a fair number of persons over the age of 60, local persons over the age of 60, who have not received the first dose. And there are a couple of thousand out there who we really want to come in. We want people to come in and get their first doses, their second doses. So we encouraging everybody to come out. Those who've had second dose 3 months or more prior to today, come out and get your booster by all means. Omicron, if it's not already here, it's going to be here. And we have no idea how it's going to express itself in our population. So we really need to circle the wagons on our own well-being by doing everything that we can So we want to press for the vaccine, press on again. People are tired. I mean, Hazel is synonymous with vaccine. And we want to encourage everyone. If anybody has any questions, most people know where to find me or how to find me or someone who knows how to find me. Please reach out and ask those questions, because we want to have that conversation. I'm going to make a little plug here as well. Dr. Tomlinson is now starting to administer the Sinopharm, which gives their population another option for vaccination. And
what would be, I guess, why would somebody be looking at Sinopharm as opposed to Pfizer?
It's a different type of vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine is the mRNA vaccine, and the Sinopharm is one, kind of a traditional type of vaccine. And people are just happier with. Everyone does their research. There are people here who prefer AstraZeneca over Pfizer, and we try to offer the options and encourage. The important thing is to be vaccinated, because even if it has 50% efficacy, that's 50% more than you have if you're not vaccinated. So we really want to encourage people to come out and take either the Pfizer, the AstraZeneca, or now we have the option of the Sinopharm, and Public Health has approved. Dr. Tomlinson's has given permission for Dr. Tomlinson to administer this vaccine. We've been out there. We're supporting them in every way that we can.
That's excellent.
So we just want to encourage people to get it.
Okay, excellent. You had mentioned that particularly there's at least or over 1,000 people over age 60 that haven't even gotten their first shot.
Dose, yeah.
Do you see particular reasons why that age group is not moving to get their vaccine? I mean, a large majority has, but of those that haven't yet. I know it's a touchy,
it's difficult. I think there are multiple reasons for not doing it. A lot of it is fear. There's a lot of misinformation circulating. There are lots of queries around human rights. There's so many reasons that people can think of, and a lot of it is as the lack of understanding as well. Some people were waiting; they just didn't want the Pfizer vaccine. Pfizer is new technology. It's a new approach to generating immunity. And, people aren't comfortable with the novel until it's been proven.
Right. Understandably.
So, which is why AstraZeneca and now the Sinopharm offer us, a good alternative. But some people, I don't know, some people just appear to be tuned out and not really engaged in the conversation. That's really a part of it as well.
Yes, I think fear is a big one. We do have...
And religion is another big one.
Yeah, but when people have touted religion to me, it's a religious thing, and I've gone and asked a religious neighbor, for example, of the same faith, is this true? Anywhere, or are you being told within your church, within your congregation, that you should not be taking this vaccine? And my neighbor, the gentleman, responded and said, "This is absolutely not true. Our church is not doing this." And then he quoted something in the Bible, which I cannot repeat because I cannot remember, but I'm not that familiar. But he quoted and said something. It was different, and it was like, you should be doing what you can to protect yourself, what is available to protect yourself. And he said, I went and got my vaccine. So that was of a particular faith, that a person told me that their faith is basically against them getting a vaccine. Well, but I went on my own to be like, now, is this true?
Well, faith is a really personal thing, isn't it?
It is.
It's not necessarily dictated by a religious group, but it is still your religious belief.
Yes.
And there are lots of questions, particularly, I think, around the mRNA vaccines and the questions of the chip and the mark of the beast. And I don't think they've settled completely those swirling kind of conversations, which is why I guess this one gives us another option that's more the traditional vaccine. Some of these people are not anti-vax.
Right.
They're anti the COVID vaccine.
Exactly.
So,
big difference.
It is a big difference. And, of course, the whole conversation around human rights and freedom of thought and all that sort of thing has played a big part in it. But really and truly, what we're seeing in the sick, in the really, really critically ill population, those of us who are on the inside, who've seen the illness and had questions about vaccine, we have no questions remaining. You know, you see the protection of the vaccine.
Right.
And it's very, very convincing.
Right. It's to me, it was a layer of protection.
It is. It is. It absolutely is.
And I likened it to basically using condoms. And if you are in intercourse, so you are not guaranteed that you won't catch anything during intercourse, but if you do wear a condom, there's that protective element. Your chances of catching something are greatly reduced. And that is how, as simple as that example and that analogy may be, that is how I was able to explain it to myself. Because I did have those, some of those doubts but it's not 100%. And if it's not 100%, then what's the point, And then after I think Delta variant did come, the efficacy went down a little bit. And then, the anti-vaxxers, they rejoiced in that information as if knowing that makes their theory even stronger. And it was so disappointing to see, because I still understood the importance of it, and I'd rather have some protection than no protection at all.
Well, my husband had an amazing analogy, and I just kind of clutched that. We're all on the sea. We're all on the same sea. We're all in a life raft. So we've got the raft is one of our protections. The paddle is another protection. The umbrella to keep the sun off us is another protection. And okay, so if you don't like the raft, you can jump in. You can jump in and swim, and maybe you'll get there, maybe you won't. But why destroy the raft for other people?
That's a great point too. It's a great analogy he had.
Why put a hole in the raft? If everybody else wants to keep the raft, then just go ahead and swim on your own,
Yeah.
Leave the raft for the people who really want to use it.
I agree. We have to go to news headlines, but right before we go to the news headlines, I do want to invite callers. You can give us a call at 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp your question or comment to 925-3261. We do have Nurse Brown in studio from Health Services Authority, and she's here to answer your questions on vaccines.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Cabinet minutes show that on November 30th, Cayman's leaders made a number of significant decisions, including granting approval for the widening of the Linford-Pearson Highway and Bobby Thompson Way by authorizing the National Roads Authority to compulsorily acquire land. Cabinet also approved the extension of the Small Business Incentive Program and the temporary reduction in trade and business licensing fees for micro-businesses and small businesses for a further 2 years. In international news, French authorities have formally identified 26 of the 27 bodies recovered after last month's mass drowning in the English Channel. 16 Kurdish people from Iraq and 4 Afghans were among the victims, whose family are being informed. They included 2 friends from the same town who died in the worst recorded migrant tragedy in the Channel. Their inflatable boat sank while attempting to cross to the UK from France on November 24th. In Belarus, an opposition leader who rallied mass protests against disputed leader Alexander Lukashenko has been jailed for 18 years. The opposition leader was convicted of organizing riots, among other charges, following a trial condemned as a sham. He planned to challenge Mr. Lukashenko in the 2020 presidential election, but was detained before the vote. The United Kingdom's COVID-19 response was under pressure on Tuesday, with the National Health Service website crashing due to demand for booster appointments, lateral flow test kits no longer available online, and long queues at vaccination walk-in centres. In the run-up to a holiday season that the British government promised would return to normality after last year's heavily restricted affair, a weary nation is instead being racked by a new crisis, Omicron. Those are your latest headlines. I'm Shanna Gallego.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And in our last segment of the show, I'm welcoming Nurse Brown. We are talking about the vaccines. We're going to also get into the LFT talk a little bit. But we also have on the line with us a caller right now, and we're going to take that call. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Alice May Coe. I'm so glad to be able to catch Nurse Hazel.
Me too. Thank you for calling.
To ask a question on behalf of someone else. Someone who's going to Jamaica for their Christmas holidays on Friday. It's kind of midday flight or whatever. They have to get a PCR test, I presume, as usual. Would that be something they could come to the Oak Centre, the Old Woods Place, tomorrow morning and would get that? And would that be the right time to have it? Or is it a reduced time frame for leaving the island?
I believe the time frame is now 24 hours within a day of the travel.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Now, each country has its own regulation, so I'm not sure what Jamaica's is specifically. But we're doing the testing for travel is at the McClendon Drive location, 131 Centre. So that would be I don't want to tell you. It's Monday to Friday. 7:30 to midday. Yes. Yes.
But what I skimmed over a news article, and it was kind of coming across as if it were people coming to the island and in transit then to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Maybe the article didn't have it clear, so I'm wondering whether.
I did see. I thought the same thing as well. That it was more talking about the sister islands.
It's incoming. It didn't say, or I didn't understand it as meaning outgoing as well.
So it's the one at the McClendon Centre is for persons who require testing for travel, for surgery, pre-op testing, and for general screening. So sometimes you'll have an organization who wants their staff to be tested every week, that sort of general screening. If you're symptomatic, we prefer, in fact, we're probably not going to allow you into that clinic. But if you're symptomatic, we also do testing at the flu clinic, at the flu clinic at the hospital. And that's open Monday to Friday, and I think it's also open on a Saturday, and it's open until late in the night. I don't have the exact hours, but I know that it does go into the late evening. And we also, of course, if anybody shows up in the emergency room and they're symptomatic, or the ambulance brings them in and they're symptomatic, we have to test them. But for travel and general screening of the asymptomatic people, and for persons who are testing prior to surgery, that is the McClendon Centre.
Right. Now, this young lady, she had her 2 Pfizer jabs. She's got her booster and everything, and she's actually signed up and should have her QR code and all like that organized. It was just because we were aware that it used to be 72 hours.
Yes, that's changed.
Hours of traveling, that she was going to come tomorrow morning bright and early to McClendon Drive.
And she travels when?
On Friday.
No, so let her come on Thursday for her
and
for her test.
Fine.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, right. I'm so glad when I heard your voice. I said I must pull off the road and give you a call.
Okay.
But
glad we can
thank
help
you for that.
Miss.
Yes, and I want to say publicly one more time how appreciative I am, and most people are, of all of the dedication and hard work by our frontline workers. I know you all are working shifts that none of us would want to be working, and we appreciate how much you are putting yourselves on the line to help all of us be protected. And my best wishes to every single one, whether it's private sector or HSA, wherever, for what they're doing. Keep up the good work, and prayers for God's protection and of the entire Cayman Islands. Bless you all. Have a blessed Christmas, and let's look forward to a 2022 that's going to be much improved.
Thank you, and the same to you, Miss Alice.
Wait, Miss Alice, please don't hang up yet. I do want to encourage you or the lady who is traveling to go to the exploregov.ky website. There's a section for travelers and for people leaving the Cayman Islands. So there is guidance on what you should be doing if you're leaving, and as well, it's respective of each country you're going to. So Jamaica has its own rules on when you should have had your PCR test, but definitely within 24 hours. That's a new rule for Cayman if you're coming in or you're leaving,
yeah.
But leaving as well. That's probably your best bet, but you have to look at what the other country's requirement is.
Yes,
because it does vary.
I was wondering whether she should call her the Jamaican consular agency here, whether they would have a more current.
She could try, or their website as well.
For entry into Jamaica.
But none of them are going to be less than 24 hours.
Yeah. I would definitely go.
Just go with the 24 hours. And
24 hours,
no,
yeah.
While I've got you captive,
yes,
she's only going for 2 weeks. I know she has to have PCR in Jamaica to get back to Cayman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think so.
I know she's taken some. She's got the little lateral flow test and everything, but that is not sufficient.
To travel.
To travel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it correct that it takes a long time for travel Cayman to process whatever has to be processed?
No.
I've heard them.
I don't know the time. I really don't know the turnaround time, but I haven't heard of anybody who missed their flight because of Travel Cayman's turnaround time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tell you from my experience that no, Travel Cayman, they prioritize it based on the travel dates, whether somebody's incoming or outgoing. For example, when I did go away, when I left, I had no idea if I was getting this travel certificate from Travel Cayman, but when I called them, they said I will have it in my email. Make sure that when she is applying on Travel Cayman, it is her email that she gets all of the information sent to her. And I say that because I know somebody who did not have their email, and then they could not locate their travel certificate. It got stolen, actually, in a different bag. So you definitely want to have this in your own email.
She has to be accurate. To be very careful there.
Yes. Make sure that her email address is written clearly. Well, I think you apply on the portal anyway.
Yes.
But double check that.
Yeah, and then Travel Cayman, based on your travel date, will prioritize you getting your information.
Okay.
And
someone was suggesting that she should apply to Travel Cayman before she actually left the island, but I don't know about that.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I think she should. It's the 10-15 minute process. It's very important. Like, you're traveling, things have changed. You have to adhere to the rules because you do not want to be caught somewhere and then you can't get back to Cayman.
Right. And now once you have your negative, which is the most important thing in the world, and you're coming back here, you're now allowed to go back home, right? Because you've got your boost, you've got your jabs, you've got your booster, you've got your QR, and you're negative, so you can just go back home. You don't have to go in quarantine.
Well, and you continue then with your lateral flow testing.
Yes.
But her returning here from Jamaica,
uh-huh.
I can't quite tell you if she can't quarantine. If Jamaica is under that 60% for the first shot,
mm-hmm.
If under 60% of the population doesn't have their first shot, then I believe coming from a country like that, she will need to quarantine in Cayman. I say that because I do have a friend who just returned to Cayman to work from Jamaica. is vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and still had to quarantine because the country's under a 60% rate. Jamaica was under a 60% rate.
Yeah, because you're aware of the 2, 5, and 10 days, you go home and you check that.
Yes.
The lateral flow and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay, all right. It's so much, but we've got to be careful.
We do.
Thank you all very, very much for giving me this time, and I hope that some of the conversation we had will be of assistance to others as well.
I believe it will. Thank you. We do have another caller as well on the line, so we do have another 2 callers on the line, so we're going to take the first caller that was waiting. Good afternoon, and thank you for calling Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Kathy, and good afternoon to my good cousin, Dr. Brown.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
I'm trying to figure out who it is.
I'm good. How are you?
I'll give you my name, Jeffrey.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
You have to call her more often. That's what that means.
I tell you.
I knew it was one of them, but I wasn't sure which of the 3.
Which one? To Ms. Alice May, the travel Cayman is within, minutes of you submitting it. They returned it.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Yes. I know 2 people that filled them out separately recently, and within minutes, they were back into their email.
I know one person as well. Same thing within minutes.
Yeah. Dr. Brown, what are the times for the boosters? I know it's afternoon, but from what period to what period?
Okay, let me find that now so that I can tell you exactly what it is.
And if there are any other locations other than there that are doing it and that kind of thing.
Right, that's exactly what I wanted to share. So we are starting today at the 131 Center.
Right.
And that is going to be from 12:30 to 4, and then from 5:30 to 7:30. And 7:30 meaning at 7:30 we stop taking people, so we'll be there longer, right? Yeah. And that's going to be our schedule for Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the rest of December, other than Christmas Eve. And on Saturday, we have only one Saturday clinic here in December, this upcoming Saturday, and that's 9 a.m. to 12:30, and then 2 to 5, because nobody wants to go get a jab in the night and on a Saturday. And
I'll take them anytime.
You'll take it anytime. And actually, Thursday afternoon, we're going to be at the Bodden Town Public Beach. On the 20th, we're going to be at the Savannah Newlands MLA office in the afternoon. And on the 23rd, we're going to be at the West Bay Health Center. And then on the 30th, we're going to be in East End.
Okay, and those times are in the afternoon until about 7.
5 to 8. And
5 to 8.
Again, Bodden Town, we don't have any walls, so we can't close the doors. So we just, generally in Bodden Town, we stay there. And East End, if we go to the public beach, but I think East End is going to be at the clinic.
Okay.
But when we go to the public beaches, we just keep giving. Truth of the matter is we keep giving until people stop coming anyway.
Okay.
Right.
Simply because we really and truly want to have the vaccine out there and get that into arms as we prepare for what is potentially another surge. Now, in the sister islands...
I have all 3 of mine, and no problems at all from the first one.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful.
From none of the shots, you had no side effects. Excellent.
None.
Great.
Oh, well, they put me through the ringer, but I took it nonetheless.
I was okay, too.
Oh, God,
I've heard people come up now and say, don't take the 3rd one because you're going to get COVID out of it.
Oh, wow.
God.
People just say the most wildest things.
Anyway, Doc, take care and tell my other Dr. Brown hi for me.
Okay, I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call.
Okay.
We have to go to a commercial break right now, and after that break, we do have another caller online. So, caller, hold on.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
We may be in Christmas shopping mode, but 'tis the flu season too. Savannah Pharmacy has immune system boosters for the entire family with a range of vitamins and supplements. Their knowledgeable and courteous pharmacists are always available to offer the best advice and products. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
20 years.
Remember when Crew Road had no median and Linford Pearson was only 2 lanes?
We do.
When Dirty Reeds was down the street?
We do.
We have been there for the falls, the growth, and the rise. When your body and mind needed to change, Powerhouse Gym has been here. We've skated with you. Your first date, your daughter's first time on skates, your son's first strike. From football to squash, to karate and hockey, to bowling and concerts, and everything in between.
For 20 years,
so much has changed, some for the good and some not so much. Through it all, King Sports Center has been here for you, for Cayman.
King Sports Center, celebrating 20 years as Cayman's home for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Here we are, gifted with presents, standing in a space denied many. In gratitude to the gift that Christmas is, this very, very special time of year, this time of reflection, celebration, fellowship, mindful of our blessings, mindful of the empty chairs, the precious spaces, the giving of gifts, sharing from steaming pots, making a difference to the many around us in need. Understanding this specialness, these Cayman Islands, feel cool breeze, massaging silver thatched leaves, shimmering in moonlit night, December Cayman. Food, fellowship, worship, in awe of sunsets, the beach, the children. Rotary Club Central, where community service is our ethos. We serve to change lives. Wishing you a delightful, safe, and magical holiday season.
The community is reminded to ensure the proper disposal of used LFT kits. Place the used LFT and all items into the marked bag with the biohazard yellow triangle symbol provided with the kit, and then discard in the garbage bin. For more information on waste disposal tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky or their Facebook page or call 949-6696.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller and I have in studio with me from Health Services Authority, Nurse Hazel Brown. And many people are familiar with Nurse Brown, but this is my first time meeting and interacting with her, so I'm pleased to have this opportunity. Thank you again, Nurse Brown, for joining us. I believe we do have another caller. Thank you, caller, for waiting during that commercial break. How are you doing today?
Fine. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Brown mentioned in regards to having an email. If an individual doesn't have an email, how do they get the information?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you clearly. You're very muffled. Are you wearing your mask?
No.
I heard the question.
Oh, okay.
I heard the question. So the question was, if an individual doesn't have an email, how are they supposed to get their information?
What information? The results?
The results information, yes.
So if you don't have an email address, your results go to the flu hotline. And if you contact the flu hotline, they have access to the results. Or if you contact your public health nurse, or if you've been interacting with any of us and you have the numbers, then by all means you feel free to contact some of us.
right? She's traveling, and her to have her information to take up with her when she's traveling. I mean, where does she get information from more than what you just told me? Because if they got to do the test on Friday and travel on Saturday, I mean, how much time?
Oh, okay. You're talking about for travel.
Yes.
You get it right there at the same place that you get the certificate.
They do the test in the morning. They give you the results.
When you're doing the certified lateral flow, you get your result right there. They give it to you hard copy.
I see. And I think I heard Mr. Brown say at some point in time that returning back home, we got to pay is it $25 per for the PCR test to be taken or something in that category? You know anything about that?
That would be for the lateral flow. I think there was a $25 charge, but I really don't have that information to hand. If you want to send a message to Radio Cayman, they will pass that information on, and we will contact you with the information if you'd like.
I know this is Cayman, and America has everything different. We have everything different. If someone is returning back out of the U.S. on a Monday, you think they'll be able to get their test taken to come back out to the Cayman Islands in the U.S. if they go and do the PCR test at I guess anywhere, Walgreens or whatever the case may be.
If you're coming out of Miami anyway, there's also a PCR testing site at the airport, which I know we've had people use.
Well, you know if Tampa has one?
I beg your pardon?
Do you know if Tampa has one?
No, I don't. I don't know much about the Tampa sites.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.
All righty.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions and your call. We do have a question via WhatsApp, and the question was, good afternoon. Can you please tell me where I can get my booster shot? Thank you.
You can get your booster at 131 McClendon Center, McClendon Drive. That's where we were talking about that earlier, at the Old Woods building, and that's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 to 4 and 5:30 to 7:30, and on Saturday from 9 to 12, and then from 2 to 5 you can get your booster as long as you've had your second shot 3 months ago and you're above the age of 18. You can just show up and get your booster. In addition, we're doing clinics at Bordentown Public Beach, which is, of course, my favorite venue. The Bordentown Public Beach from 5 to 8 on Thursday, the 16th, and the West Bay Health Center from 5 to 8 on Thursday, the 23rd. East End Health Center, 5 to 8 on Thursday, the 30th. And we've got the Savannah Newlands MLA office next week, Monday, in the afternoon as well. I think that's also from 5 till 8.
I do want to remind people that they can find the schedule. If you don't remember what Nurse Brown is telling you, you can find the schedule online at hsa.ky.
Yes.
As well, if you're on social media, I know the Instagram account for HSA is HSA Cayman Islands, and they're very good at updating their Instagram account. So the December schedule is also there for if you're looking to get your booster shots or vaccinated.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. All the information is on the HSA website and their social media pages.
I know we've moved. Do we have another call, Susan? I wasn't sure. No, Susan says we're okay. Again, if you do want to call, you have a few minutes left. 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp us at 925-3261. I had a question, Nurse Brown. The lateral flow tests. I know that there's apprehension about it, and I've not only seen, but even, friends of mine, hey, did you take your lateral flow test after we went to that party yesterday? And the response was, no, because they don't work. And I'm just, oh man, but they do work. No, it's not accurate. This was the response given to me. And I said, it's more accurate than not having any testing at all done. So for the people that think that your lateral flow tests are not accurate, what would your response to that be?
The lateral flow tests were made for a different purpose than the PCR. So if I can find the little response that we got from our molecular biologist, who told me, I asked him, tell me the difference between the PCR and the lateral flow so that I can share accurate information. So the PCR test looks for the presence of the genetic code of the virus, the viral RNA, whereas the antigen test is looking for the presence of a protein that is a part of the virus. So those are two different things. And the PCR picks up the viral load, the actual load of virus in the blood, in the swab. I'm sorry, in the swab, in the mucous membranes, and it measures a very specific range of viral load, and Johnny is much better at explaining this as I am, because he's teaching me. See, I have the words and he gives me the information. He teaches me every day.
Well, so we're not molecular biologists.
No, we're not. And he's really very good at it. But basically, the test takes the PCR takes the sample and tests it in cycles to see, do they pick up viral material, viral RNA. The more cycles you have to take before it picks it up, before it detects it, the lower the amount of virus that was in the sample from the very beginning. So which is why it sort of wasn't easy for us to pick up, because we expect that the higher the CT value, the more virus. But really and truly, the higher the CT value, the less virus.
Right.
That's the higher the CT value, the more cycles they've had to do before they could pick up the actual viral material in the sample. So if you have a PCR, if you have a CT value greater than 25, it's unlikely that the lateral flow test is going to pick it up. So you're still infectious, but the lateral flow may not pick it up. Lateral flow is really designed for early identification of positives of infection. So when you're doing serial lateral flow tests following an exposure, it is very, very good at picking up the conversion. I actually am now positive. I'm now infected. The PCR serves a different purpose. It can identify, it quantifies the viral RNA and gives you back something that is not necessarily more accurate, but gives more information. Now, one of the things that we've been dealing with in public health that causes us grave concern is that people are using the lateral flow test to see, am I still positive? And the truth is, you may still be positive and you may have a negative lateral flow, because lateral flow was not designed for that purpose, to tell you when you're now negative. It's designed to tell you when you're first positive. And another thing that concerns us is that our persons are testing positive on lateral flow and are not reporting it. They're not reporting it because they don't want to go into lockdown, or because they don't remember how to report it, or for whatever reason they're not reporting it, and they're traveling around the community positive for COVID and spreading the virus. They're sharing all their joy. They may be asymptomatic, but they're still positive. And that is going to be even more critical. The reporting of the LFTs are going to be even more critical with the advent of Omicron, which is highly transmissible. And we're hearing, of course, what people perceive as very encouraging news, that Omicron is giving milder illness. But it is so transmissible, and every time a virus jumps from one person to another, it makes some little change. So we can end up with a very highly transmissible virus that with mutation becomes very deadly. And we just because we're getting mild illness with Omicron, we cannot lower our guard in any way. We need to have the reports of these positive lateral flow tests, that we can follow them up with a PCR. And one of the things that we're looking at with the Omicron, which is not really, it doesn't say clearly that this is Omicron, but we look for what we call the S gene dropout. So when we're doing PCR testing, we test for several targets. We've got N, we've got an OR, and then we've got an S, and we've got about 5 targets that we can run. And when the others are with a low CT value indicating a high viral load, and the S gene drops out, they're negative, you start to say, is this Omicron? But if we don't have enough viral material in our swab, then we cannot run a genome sequence to see is this truly Omicron. So when people fail to report their positive lateral flow, and then they come in at day 15, at day 11, whenever they know when they're supposed to come for their exit PCR or their freedom PCR, by that time there's not enough viral material in that swab for us to sequence it. So we may have Omicron out there and not know. The regulations were designed around all the science that that has come with COVID and with COVID testing and COVID vaccine and all the other stuff that we've learned in the last 2 years. We've learned a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, everybody's a public health expert right now.
Right. A Facebook doctor.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So we've learned a tremendous amount. But we have to know, we need to have the basic information, the prior knowledge and experience to be able to apply what we're learning about lateral flow and PCR and CT values and all that sort of thing, so that we have to trust that the regulations have been made with not only that information, not only the information that we've gleaned over the last 2 years, but with the information that public health professionals have been gaining over 30, 40 years in their professional experience. We need to continue to wear our masks. We have to take all the precautions that have been shown to be working. And we have to be vaccinated. We really and truly cannot afford at this point in time to lower our guard. You know, we can very quickly be overrun by severe illness if we don't take the precautions.
Well, I mean, look at what happened when we did have the border, the phase 3 opening of the border and tourists starting to come. The quarantine period increased from the 5 to the 7 days, and then we hit phase 4 on November 20th. But even when we were in that phase 3, and for a big chunk of November there, we were seeing so many positive cases pop up every single day. And it was, for our community, over 100 cases a day is a lot. We had
End of October, first couple of weeks in November, yeah, it was huge.
It was absolutely insane. And over the weekend, so from 8 a.m. on Friday up until 8 a.m. Monday, the 13th of December, yesterday, there was 85 positive results coming in from PCR tests. And there was 2,128 PCR tests taken in that period.
So the positivity rate is down significantly.
Significantly
down.
So I think that's a great sign for our community. But yeah, it hit us, and we can be vaccinated still, but that virus wasn't around. We couldn't even build any sort of a natural defense to it. Mm-hmm. So I believe now we're getting to that point. Of course, I'm not a public health expert, so my non-professional view is that it looks like we are declining in our positive numbers as long as we keep.
But we have to remember that this virus has been characterized by surges and hills and valleys, really,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And we've only had our first hill, our first peak. So from the public health perspective, we are expecting a surge. I'm just sitting there and saying, we were talking about it this morning in the office when we do our huddle, and yes, we're in the valley right now, but who knows when the next mountain is going to come up before us.
Okay.
So,
that's a great point.
We have to think about how are we going to gather over the festive season? How are we going to spend our time? Are we going to protect ourselves and protect our families by wearing a mask if we're indoors? Limiting, actually, I think we need to limit the amount of socializing. We do make it what Christmas is about, right? Make it about family, and limit the large parties and the large gatherings unless they're outdoors. And even outdoors, if you're up in someone's face, we don't know. We don't know when Omicron's going to land on our shores. Is it here already? Is it already circulating? We don't know. And we don't want 2 weeks after the Christmas weekend that we're then swamped with hospitalizations, admissions, and seriously ill people.
Right. I agree with you. We have to end our segment now. We've gone over a little bit, but I had to give you some time. Any last comments you'd like to leave with our listeners?
We just want to say thanks to DCFS for allowing us to use the 131 Centre. We've been searching for a place, for a home for our vaccination clinic ever since we had to leave the airport, and we really appreciate working with them. And I'd just like to say to all my people, please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and help us all to take care of the community as we battle something that we cannot see.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nurse Brown. And remember that vaccine schedule is available at hsa.ky. You can look on Instagram at the HSA Cayman Islands account, and they also have the schedule there. And just to repeat the times for this week, today at 131 McClendon Drive. Now this is next to DHL, behind Foster's Airport. The vaccination is from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And again...
Yeah, it closes at 3:30 and then at 4. So it's still going now until 4 o'clock.
Yes, my bad.
And then
a little break.
Yeah, then a break.
Then so 5:30 to 7:30 after it closes at 4 today. And then the same times on Friday, we're looking 12:30 to 4 p.m. and again 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And tomorrow, that's correct.
Friday.
Bodentown, 5 to 8 p.m. on Thursday.
And that's going to be great. I mean, we're going to be on the beach. There's no other clinic like the Bodentown.
Sound excited.
Public beach. Everybody wants to go to the Bodentown Public Beach Clinic.
All right. Thank you so much, Nurse Brown, for joining us. And for our listeners, have a great Tuesday, December 14th.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Is where tradition never dies. This